Bhagavad Gita, 14th chapter, the Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. We saw yesterday, Sarva Yonishu Kaunteya. Yesterday means Friday. Sarva Yonishu Kaunteya. Murtayah Sambhavanti Jaha. Tasam Brahma Mahadjonihi. Aham Bijaprada Pita. Whatever forms are produced, O Arjuna, in any womb whatsoever, because he has already told four kinds of yonis, wombs, whatsoever. The great Brahma is their womb, and I am the seed-giving father. This we have seen. Now we shall see Sattvam Rajastama iti Gunaha Prakriti Sambhavaha Nivadnanti Mahabhaho Dehe Dehinamabhyayam. This also we discussed a little. Purity, passion and inertia, these qualities, O Arjuna, born of nature, bind fast in the body, the embodied, the indestructible. The embodied is imperishable, and it is bound by these three qualities. Sattva is the best, Rajas comes next, Tamas is the lowest and the worst. The three qualities indicate the triple mentality. It is the nature of the mind only. Three qualities indicate the triple mentality. They produce attachment in the individual souls, delude them and bind them down, as it were, to samsara. Just as the three conditions of childhood, youth and old age are found in the same body, so also the three qualities inhere in the mind. Mind means it has to undergo all these three phases of it, three qualities. The soul gets limited by identifying itself with the body, and the three qualities, these three qualities with the body, they are the root cause for bondage. Body, of course, we have seen it. We say my body, but while doing some actions, we do as I body. And these qualities, they influence our activities of the senses, body, mind, everything. These three qualities. So these three qualities with the body is the root cause of bondage. It is subject to birth and death, and experiences happiness and misery, pleasure and pain, joy and sorrow, till it realizes its identity with the Supreme Self. So now he said it is the individual soul is imperishable. Now he says, till it is imperishable, as long as it is not identified itself with the Supreme Self, then the natural question, when it will identify with the Supreme Self, what will happen to the individual soul? This is the question. Will it persist as individual soul, or it will disappear? That means it will have an end. So if you have said it to be imperishable, indestructible, then how it can be again merged in the Supreme? It has to keep up its identity separately. That is called indestructible, isn't it? So this is the question now. What happens to the soul when it merges in the Absolute Self? Not merges, now we are using the word identifying itself with the Supreme Self. Identification, it is not merging as far as we are discussing now. So what is identifying itself with some other thing and being one with it and being merged in it? What are the differences? It is only the play of words, nothing else. When one identifies with the other, it becomes one with it. Then only it can identify. And the other unite. When one unites with the other, how much? What is the ratio of your union? How much you unite with others? Suppose I embrace my brother. Have I become one with him or not? In what way I have become one with him? Have I lost my identity? Union in what way? Merging in what way? We merge in the river, take a dip, and again come out. What happens then when we merge or take a dip, fully merged in the water? Isn't it? What happens to us? So all these words we have to understand. If it is fully 100%, then it has to lose its identity. If it is partial, then there is possibility of coming back to its previous identity afterwards. Understood now? We merge in the water, river water, take a dip and come out, isn't it? So we don't lose our identity there. Though we are fully merged in the water, we keep up our 100% identity. Say we embrace our friend. For a moment we forget ourselves, for a moment, out of love, out of affection. That happens, we don't note it. And then again, I am the younger brother, he is my elder brother. He is my friend, I am different. I am his friend, he is my friend. The difference will be there. It is a momentary union, momentary. It is not 100%. But here, when the individual soul merges with the Supreme Self, what happens? This is very, very crucial point. What happens? On this, we have the different phases of union according to Bhakti Shastra. We have mukti. Mukti means liberation. In what different phases? Sajujya, Samipya, and Sarupya, yes. Sajujya, Samipya, Sajujya, different phases, isn't it? So a devotee when goes on thinking of his deity continuously, so at the time of communion with the deity, he forgets himself, he loses his identity for some time. And that is called in different ways. जा रहा है भाई, क्या हो रहा है गुरु जी?
डिस्टर्ब कर रहा है थोड़ा, आ रहा है जा रहा है ऐसे बिजली की तरह।
इधर ही बैठे रहो, जगवाली करो। So what happens? This communion with our deity, it happens differently. We feel, you see, the different types of devotion, Navavidha Bhakti. We have different types of devotion towards our deity in path of devotion. You see, we feel sometimes we are near the deity. He is different from us, but the nearness is felt by the devotee. Just as Yashoda and Krishna, or Arjuna and Krishna, they have nearness. They know he is the Supreme Self, but they have not identified themselves wholly, fully, 100% with the Lord. Samipya. And after leaving the body also, the soul remains with the realm of his deity for some time. For some time, nobody knows how long. As long as its feeling will be intact, so long, and afterwards also it may become one with it, and there may be possibility of coming again to the human body as a devotee and again practicing the same type of devotion. Nobody can say anything decisively. So in this way, different types of communion or merging is there. So when in the path of knowledge, it doesn't happen so. What happens? The soul gives up its identity completely because he knows I am not the body, I am not the senses, I am not the... By contemplating I am not the mind, fourfold mind, I am not the prana. So what are you? You are the witness of all these. And what is that witnessing body? It keeps up an identity for some time as witnessing, and then that cannot remain for long, because everything needs some medium to move on, to act. So that witnessing will not remain for long. It will dissolve. Witnessing dissolves. Dissolves if the tendency is towards the Supreme, then it will dissolve in the Supreme Truth. If there is some defect means some trace of thought of worldliness, means the object which he is witnessing, then there may be chance to come back to its previous body. Previous body means identity with all these, because he started witnessing for some time, and he didn't lost his witnessing identity. Now he has to come back. For example, some audience, they sit in the pavilion and see the match, say football match or cricket match, something. And if they are quite impartial, 100% impartial onlookers, then they will not be agitated by anything wrong happening in the game. They will not be irritated, they will not be agitated. There is chance in a game, so many mistakes are done by the players. In football game, there will be fouling and abusing. So many things happen. If the audience is not impartial, then he will be involved in the happenings. Sometimes the audience come forward and enter into the field shouting. That's why the police and others, they guard around the field. They will be excited. Oh, you are doing wrong, that party is doing wrong, that party is right. In that way they will start shouting and howling and creating havoc. So that depends upon the onlooker, the witness, how much he is impartial and what is the tendency. If he is not at all concerned with any team, he will not be agitated whatever happens. It is all game. Whether right things happen or wrong things happen, everything is a game. What happens in the Ruby game, you know? Ruby. There is some... Rugby, not Ruby. Rugby, yes. They will fight with each other. To snatch the ball. So in that case it happens in the games. So in this way, if we see minutely, it depends upon the individual, what is the condition of its being. If there is trace of these three qualities or the attachment with the body, then there is a chance of returning back to the body. Yes.
Maharaj, in connection with this word communion, does this Krishna Paksha, Shukla Paksha, Uttarayana, Dakshinayana has any role to play with the communion as well?
All these Uttarayana, Dakshinayana, all these are concerned with the time. Time is in the relative world. We are not talking of the soul after death, but we are talking of the soul when it reaches the witnessing state. Understood? Witnessing means he is beyond time. He just witnesses everything. All the happenings in the three qualities. Three qualities, that is time, space, identities, body, senses, mind, etc., everything. Three qualities, we shall see further everything, how these three qualities being imbalanced, how they create a bondage with the body and the soul. How the soul get entangled with the body in the action and reactions and changing phenomena, and then they become prey to the qualities. So in this way, what he says, till it realizes its identity with the Supreme Self. Generally it is taken as 100%. Identity realizes its identity. Realizing means to be one with it. 100%. Generally it is taken. But there is chance. It is so subtle, nobody knows what happens to the journey in that subtle realms. The word guna is usually translated as quality. It does not signify property. Property means the qualities of the object. That is called property. What is the property of the water? Odorless and colorless. That is the property of water. It becomes smelly or it becomes colored afterwards by mixture, by mixing with other things. But pure water has no color, no odor, nothing. That is the property of the object. Similarly here, he says, quality is just a word used commonly, but it does not signify the property, attribute or quality as such. The blue color of a cloth. Gunas are really the primary constituents of nature and are the basis of all substances. Without the qualities, we cannot see the object. So it is known as the nature or basis of all substances. Basis means on this base only we can observe an object. That is how we have to understand. Therefore, it is not proper to call them qualities inhering in substances. The substance is there. It accepts the qualities to manifest. Understood? See, if you see the clock, how do you understand it is a clock? It is a clock there. When it activates, when the hour hand and the minute hand they go on working, then only you know it is a clock. If it is not working, it is not a clock, it is something. Though the shape may be like clock, that means all these activities are known as the qualities, and thereby we understand the object or the substance. Then only it is called as this. Guruji, am I clear? No. Qualities are the base to basement, the basement for our observing or perceiving or visualizing the object. But before qualities, the object is there. We cannot deny the existence of quality. Quality assumes or accepts, the object accepts the qualities to manifest. Only when it qualified, then only it is manifested. Without qualities, it cannot manifest. But before manifesting, it is there. Understood now? Which is not expressed or manifested. Yes?
Should we understand relatively, the prana is also influenced by this quality, and it is the same thing it has to manifest, accepting the quality?
If we see minutely, all the nature, prana is within the nature, not only the three qualities. When the three qualities activate, then prana also activates. And the mind, everything, whole body, senses, everything. It is seen from the angle of qualities. From other angle, when you see, prana is the stimulator or the giver of the tendency to act. Prana will be there without vibrating. Everything is there like that. Whatever you take, whether qualities, whether nature, whether this prana or fourfold mind, whatever is there, it activates means when it is under the cycle of action and reaction, it is called movement or the process of changing, that is called nature. That is afterwards. Before that it has to exist. That existence we cannot say the quality. Just as we saw in the Yoga Vasishtha class, the fire is there in the matchstick. Can you deny it? In the matchstick, fire is there, but we don't see it. It is not manifested. It is in the unmanifested form. Similarly, in the everywhere in the wood, in other items, there is fire in the cloth also. When you put fire, you lit it with some other fire, then the fire comes out, manifests, which was not visible before it. It was there, or else where from it will come? Presence cannot come out of absence. Presence is there, existence is there, but it is not visible, it is not manifested. So we call it is invisible or unmanifested, but the presence or the existence is there. Everything, every object, before it manifests, it has to be present in an unmanifested form. So we can go to the absolute also. When the absolute manifests, then only it is called creation or nature, whatever you say, nature with three qualities or nature with eightfold body or anything. It is manifested. Before manifestation, it was the truth absolute. That is existence and knowledge and bliss. Without that, it cannot manifest. So this way we have to understand how the nature comes out, means manifests. That's why we have discussed avyakta or vyakta, unmanifested and manifested. Lord said, I have two types of nature. One is para, other is apara. Apara prakriti, para prakriti. We forget it. The unmanifested has to be there to be manifested. Who will manifest? The imbalance takes place only in a balanced state. If you see some waves in the water, the basement should be there, then only there will be waves. Or else where do you see the waves? When you are standing still, then only you start walking. If you are not there, then who will walk? And in what condition you are before walking? Not walking state. That is called existence. Everything changes. How it changes? Because it was unchanging. That's why it can change. The ignorant learns. Learned will not learn anything. The hungry eats. One who has eaten quite satisfied, will he eat? That means it has to be exist beforehand. Every substance or matter or call it object, absolutely it is the absolute truth which is seen in different ways. It has to exist without qualities, without the properties, and when it is visible, it is manifested, then only we call it quality or the properties, or call it as you like. So in this way, the guna is understood. It is quality, of course. It is used as, the word is used as quality. But in true sense, it is the basic, fundamental state of the substance. Therefore, it is not proper to proper to call them qualities inhering in substances. Qualities come afterwards. And if you say it is inherent in the substance, then you have to say, you are forced to say it was unmanifested. Because it is not manifested, so how can you say anything on it? That's how we say about the nature, Maya, achintya rupa charita. We cannot say anything about it. Whatever you say, it is like this. From other angle, it is not like that. This is the beauty of Maya. Nothing can be imagined, nothing can be told, nothing can be defined. Like Maya is like this. So what happens? If you want to attain freedom or perfection, if you wish to become immortal, you must rise above the modes of nature. You must transcend the gunas. When you transcend the gunas, what happens? What will be the condition? There is no gunas. So, the remnants will be Sat Chit Anand. That is called immortality, eternity, imperishable. So as we see the individual soul, when it becomes the witness, we call Jivan Mukta. The state we call as Jivan Mukta. He is freed from the bondage, but yet he has an identity as the witnessing entity. Yes?
Maharaj, what is in the case of Mr. Kakabhushan ji?
Kakabhushan ji is always, he remains on the border. Borderline is, it cannot be defined as my border or his border. It is the neutral zone. Neutral zone. That is called borderline, the horizon. He can come to this side and he can go to that side also. When the creation is there, he imagines as the creation is imagined, so he takes a form. And when creation dissolves, he remains as in the other side of the borderline. He steps down there, that side, and he becomes one with the immortal self. In this way, he keeps up his identity, sometimes that side, sometimes this side. But he stands at borderline. So tomorrow we shall see today the time is over. Tomorrow we shall see this subject again. If the water in the vessel is agitated, the reflected sun in the water also appears to be agitated through pratibimba, adhyasa, superimposition of reflection on water. Reflection is superimposition on the water. We see the reflection, at that time we forget the water. So it is a superimposing, we call it adhyasa or agitation, or we call it in Sanskrit bibirth. It appears which is not there. And similarly the snake on the rope. Snake is not at all there, we see it on the rope. So it is called adhyasa, superimposition or reflection. This we shall see tomorrow clearly. Even so, the pure unchanging self appears to be bound by the qualities of nature through superimposition. In reality, the self is ever free and untainted. It is beyond them, all these modifications. It is beyond all these modifications, qualities, or we can say gunas or properties, whatever you say. It is beyond all these, because it is not agitated. So this we shall see tomorrow again. Hari Om. Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasesate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadguru Bhagavan ki jai. Sachidananda Bhagavan ki jai. Krishna Bhagavan ki jai. Gita Mata ki jai. Hari Om.